Hi, my name is Haley, and in this tutorial we are going to make a duck plushie. So before we start, I need to clarify some things. The yarn size and the crochet hook that you're using is going to change the plushie size, whether it's going to be bigger than mine or smaller than my duck. So the bigger your yarn and crochet hook, the bigger your duck is going to be, and the smaller your yarn and hook size, the smaller the duck size is going to be. So recommend that you use the same size of crochet hook and yarn size as me to get this size that I showed in this video. So first we are going to start by making a magic ring. So to do a magic ring, first you're going to hold the end of your yarn, and then you're going to wrap the yarn around your two finger, and you will have this X shape in the middle right here, and then turn your finger to the front and hold your yarn like this. Now take your crochet hook. Now this is going to be your first loop, and then this is going to be your second loop. So go ahead and go under the first loop, and then grab onto the second loop like this and twist it up. Now we are going to release this ring from our finger while still keeping the shape. So grab it like this and release it. Now hold your yarn, and you're going to chain one. So yarn over and pull through. Now we are going to insert 6 single crochets into our magic ring. So go into your magic ring like this, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So this is going to be your first single crochet. So go ahead and take your stitch marker and mark the first single crochet. So you are going to mark every first stitch because we are going to work in a continuous round. So it is going to help you know when each round starts and ends. Now continue inserting 5 more single crochet into your magic ring. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you are going to pull the end of the magic ring to close the middle here. So pull, so just pull until there is no hole in the middle here. Now in your first stitch we are going to insert an increase. So remove your stitch marker. So an increase basically means you are going to insert 2 single crochet into the same stitch. So insert your hook, and I am going to carry my end with me as I work over the single crochet. So to carry the end, just put the end on top of your crochet hook, then just make the single crochet as normal. So yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through 2. Now this is your first stitch for this round. So go ahead and mark it with a stitch marker. Now insert 1 more single crochet into the same stitch. So 2. Then in the next stitch right here, as you can see, I really hope you can see it because this yarn is quite fuzzy, so it's really hard to see. And insert an increase again into the next stitch. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, which means I have done 2 increases. Now in the next stitch right here, insert an increase again. So 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet into the same stitch. Then in the next stitch, make an increase. So 1 and 2, and in the next stitch 1 and 2. Then this is my last stitch right here, so I'm going to insert my last increase, 1 and 2. Now remove your stitch marker, and in the first stitch we are going to insert an increase. So 1. So before I insert another single crochet into this stitch, I'm going to mark my stitch. And I'm going to insert 1 more single crochet into the same stitch, and 2. Then in the next stitch, which is right here, I will insert 1 single crochet. So insert your hook and make 1 single crochet into the next stitch. You can see that we have this kind of a V shape right here that indicates your next stitch. Now in the next stitch right here, I'm going to insert an increase. So 1 and 2. Then in the next stitch, you are going to insert 1 single crochet. So you're going to repeat this pattern for 4 more times. And again, in the next stitch, an increase, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Then in the next stitch again, an increase, 1 and 2. Then in the next stitch right here, 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch here, an increase, 1, 2, and in the next stitch, 1 single crochet. In the next stitch here again, 1 increase, 1 and 2, and in the last stitch, 1 single crochet. Now moving on to round 4, so remove your stitch marker, and in the first stitch you are going to insert 1 single crochet and mark the first stitch again with your stitch marker. So for round 4, 5, and 6, basically 3 rounds, you are going to insert 1 single crochet in each stitch. So we have a total of 18 stitches, so basically we are going to do 18 single crochets. So 1 in the next stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 17, and 18. Now I'm going to flip my work inside out. This is the back right here, so I'm going to flip it and make sure the right side is on the outside like this. Now continue making 1 single crochet in each stitch for 2 more rounds. So I have done mine until round 6, so moving on to round 7. First, remove your stitch marker. Now this is going to be your first stitch where I just removed my stitch marker. So first we are going to do a decrease. So to do a decrease, you are going to insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then insert your hook into the next stitch, which is right here, yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have 3 loops on your hook, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that is how you're going to do a decrease. Then just mark the first stitch. Make sure that you don't insert your hook again into the stitches that we just made a decrease. So in the next stitch, you are going to insert 1 single crochet. So this is the pattern that you're going to repeat for 5 more times. So in the next 2 stitches here, make a decrease. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then insert your hook again into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then in the next stitch, make 1 single crochet. So that is basically it. Just continue this step until you reach the last stitch right here. So once you are done, you are left with 12 stitches. So I recommend that you count your stitches before moving on to the next round, just to make sure that you have the right number of stitches and you are in the right step. Now on round 8, remove your stitch marker, and in the first stitch you are going to insert a decrease. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So this is your first stitch, so insert your stitch marker. Now we're going to repeat this step as round 7, which is we are going to make 1 decrease and 1 single crochet. So in the next stitch, make 1 single crochet. So repeat this step for 5 more times. So if you find it hard to get into the stitches, what you're going to do is you just pinch the back stitch here and give some space to the stitch that you are going to work on. So pinch it and you have some space here, and it's really easy for you to insert your hook into these stitches. So you are done with the hat. Now you're going to stuff the hat with a stuffing, and you don't have to fasten off. You're just going to leave the yarn like this. Then we're going to continue with the body. So take your stuffing, and I'm just going to remove my stitch marker just so it's easier for me to stuff. Then just take your stuffing and insert it into the hat like this. So once you have done stuffing, it is going to look something like this. Now we're going to move on to the body. So on round 9, we are going to insert an increase in each stitch. So this is my first stitch. I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to make an increase. So before I finish off this increase, I'm going to mark my stitch. Now insert one more single crochet into the same stitch to complete the increase. So this is going to be my first increase. So continue making 7 more increases. So 1 and 2, and then in the next stitch 1 and 2, then in the next stitch 1 and 2. So pay attention on how I am holding the hat. I'm inserting my finger into it like this, and then just hold it like this. As you can see, it's really comfortable doing it this way, and it's really easy for me to insert my hook. Just be careful though, because sometimes I stab my finger with my crochet hook when doing it like this. And in my last stitch here again, an increase. So 1 and 2. So now you will have a total of 16 stitches. So make sure to count your stitches before moving on to the next round. Now on round 10, remove your stitch marker, and we are going to do an increase into the first stitch. So insert your hook and make an increase. I'm going to mark my first stitch and then insert one more single crochet into the same stitch. Now in the next stitch, which is right here, I'm going to make one single crochet. So this is the pattern that you're going to repeat for 7 more times. Then in the next stitch, an increase, 1 and 2, then 1 single crochet. So repeat this pattern until you reach your last stitch right here. Now once you are done, now in the first stitch, you are going to insert a slip stitch. So remove your stitch marker and insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, then just pull through. And I'm just going to pull my loop and pull the slip stitch like this, just to hide the slip stitch. Now you are going to chain 3. So yarn over and pull through. So this is going to be your first chain, then 2 and 3. Now we're going to make 2 single crochet here. So skip the first chain because this is your turning chain, so we are going to ignore this. Then insert your hook into your second chain and make 1 single crochet. So this is going to be your new first stitch. So take your stitch marker and mark it like this. Then in the second chain here, make 1 more single crochet. So basically what this is it is going to be the tail for the duck. Now we're going to continue inserting 24 single crochet. So basically we are going to insert 1 single crochet in the next 24 stitches. So your next stitch is going to be right here where we insert a step stitch before. So insert your hook, then make 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch right here, and make 1 more single crochet. So just continue inserting 1 single crochet in each stitch until you have a total of 24 stitches. 6, 7, 8, 23, and 24. Now this is basically your slip stitch right here, so we're going to ignore this. Now we're going to make 2 single crochets in the chain. So 1 single crochet into the first chain here, and 1 single crochet into the first chain here. Now remove your stitch marker and insert 1 single crochet into the first stitch and mark the first stitch again. So we are going to make a total of 5 single crochets. So this is going to be your first single crochet. Now in the next stitch right here, so this is the stitch that we just inserted 1 single crochet. Now this is going to be your next stitch, and make 1 more single crochet and continue making 3 more single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Now you can see that our stitch have this kind of like a V shape, right? So this is the back loop, and this is going to be our front loop. So we're going to be inserting our hook into the front loop only. So we are going to insert 3 treble crochet into the next 3 stitches. So go ahead and yarn over 2 times, insert your hook into the front loop only, then just yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have a total of 4 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So this is going to be your first treble crochet. Now you're going to take your stitch marker and mark the back loop that you have not worked on. So this is the back loop right here. So I'm going to mark it. So this is going to be really important later on, so make sure you do this. Now insert 1 treble crochet again into the next front loop. So 1, 2, and 3. Then take your stitch marker and mark the back loop of this stitch. Now 1 more treble crochet into the next front loop. Then take another stitch marker and mark the back loop. So you will have a total of 3 stitch marker right here. Now you are going to work through the both loops. So we are going to make 12 single crochets. So basically we are going to insert 1 single crochet into the next 12 stitches. So insert your hook into the next stitch and make 1 single crochet through both loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now we're going to do the same step as the other side here. So we're going to make 3 treble crochets into the front loop only. So yarn over 2 times and insert your hook into the front loop, then make 1 treble crochet. Now take your stitch marker and mark the back loop. Then make 1 treble crochet into the next stitch only through the front loop. Now take your stitch marker and mark the back loop. You can just follow the next stitch as your guide as to where the back loop is. Then just insert 1 more treble crochet into the next stitch only through the front loop. Now mark the back loop like this. So you will have a total of 6 stitch markers inside like this. Now we are going to continue making 5 single crochets. So this is your next stitch right here. We are going to work in both loops. So insert your hook and make 1 single crochet. Then continue until you have a total of 5 single crochet. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. Continue with round 13. So remove your stitch marker and we're going to make 5 single crochets. So insert 1 single crochet into the first stitch, then mark the first stitch. So this is going to be your first single crochet, then 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now you will reach this side which have 3 treble crochets that we did. Now we're going to work in this back loop that we mark. So remove the first back loop and we're going to insert 1 single crochet in each stitch. So remove the first back loop, insert your hook into the back loop, and just continue making 1 single crochet. Then in the next back loop, just remove your stitch marker and insert your hook and make 1 single crochet. Then in the last stitch marker here, insert your hook and make 1 single crochet. So you will have a total of 3 single crochets down here. Now make sure that you don't work in the treble crochet stitches right here. This is the treble crochet stitch which is right here. So insert your hook into the next stitch and insert 1 single crochet. Now just continue making 12 single crochets until you reach this side. So this is going to be your first single crochet. So 2, 3, 11, and 12. Now we reach this 3 treble crochet side. So we are going to work in this stitch markers. Remove your first stitch marker and insert 1 single crochet and insert your hook through the back loop like this and make 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch marker, remove it like this and insert your hook and make 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch, insert your hook and make 1 single crochet. Now this is the treble crochet stitch right here. We are going to ignore this and insert your hook into the next stitch right here and make 1 single crochet. Now continue until you have a total of 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now on round 14, we are going to insert 1 single crochet in each stitch until the end of this round. So again, we are going to ignore this 3 treble crochet side. We are going to work in this 1 single crochet right here instead of the 3 treble crochet stitches. So remove your stitch marker and in the first stitch insert 1 single crochet and mark your stitch. Then continue making 1 single crochet till the end of this round. And for this round, you have a total of 28 stitches. So 3, 4, 5. Now we are going to work under this 3 treble crochet side, which is the 1 single crochet that we did in the last round. 6, 7, 8, 27, and 28. Now on round 18, remove your stitch marker and we're going to do a decrease in the first 2 stitches. So insert your hook and pull up a loop, Then insert your hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then just mark the first stitch. Now we are going to do 2 single crochets. So insert your hook into the next stitch and make 1 single crochet. Then insert your hook into the next stitch and make 1 single crochet. So you are going to repeat this step for 6 more times. So a decrease, insert your hook and pull up a loop. Then insert your hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then make 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. So repeat this until the end right here. Now moving on to round 16, remove your stitch marker. And we are going to make a decrease in the first 2 stitches. So make a decrease. And this is going to be your first stitch. So mark it with a stitch marker. Then make 1 single crochet into the next stitch. So this is the pattern that you are going to repeat for 7 times. So in the next 2 stitches, make a decrease and 1 single crochet. So do this until the end right here. Now we're going to do a decrease for 7 times. So remove your stitch marker. Then in the first 2 stitches, you're going to do a decrease. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then mark the first stitch. Then in the next stitch right here, we're going to do a decrease again. So insert your hook, pull up a loop. Insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So just continue this until you have made this for 7 times. Now I recommend that you count your stitches and make sure that you have a total of 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now go ahead and stuff the body. So take your stuffing, and I'm just going to remove my stitch marker just so it's easier for me to insert my stuffing. Then just insert your stuffing into the body like this. Now once you are done, it's going to look something like this. As you can see, we have these 2 wings right here and the tail right here. So make sure that you don't overstuff, because once you overstuff, you will lose this tail shape right here. Now all you need to do is just cut your yarn and pull through. Then take your darning needle and thread in your yarn. So we have these 7 stitches right here. So we're going to insert our needle and yarn through the front loop of each stitch. So insert your hook through the front loop only, then pull through. So you don't have to pull too tight. You just have to make sure that you insert it through the front loop like this. So once you are done, you're just going to pull your yarn to close this hole here. So pull your yarn. So make sure to pull it slowly so that your yarn won't snap. Now, once you have closed the middle here, just go through the center and weave in the yarn. So to weave it in, you just pull through any way you like. I'm just going to use my hook because my yarn is so short. Then I'm just going to bring it to the other side just to make sure that it's really secure. Then cut your yarn, and I'm just going to hide the yarn inside like this. So this is how the duck is going to look like. So I don't have any yellow yarn for the feet and beak, so which is why I use pink yarn for this. So for this one, I am going to be using a purple yarn. So to make the feet, you're going to insert your hook into the stitch. So from the center part here, we're going to count 1, 2, 3. So we'll do the same for this part. 1, 2, and 3. So the feet is going to be right here. Make sure that you are at the front of the duck, because detail is right here. So this is the front. So 1, 2, and 3 right here. Then you are going to use the wings as your guide. So as you can see, this part of the wing is aligned with the feet right here. So 1, 2, and 3. So this part is where you're going to sew it. So align it like this. So I'm going to insert my hook and then take your yarn, make a loop like this, and just put it on top of your crochet hook and hold the end so that you have control over this yarn. So do not let go of it, just hold it like this and pull through. Then yarn over and pull through to chain 1. Now we're going to make 3 single crochets. So to make your single crochet, you're going to go under the stitch like this, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through. So you're going to ignore this yarn, just ignore it. Later on we're going to weave it in and hide it inside of the duck. Then in the next stitch, go under the next stitch like this, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Then make another one in the next stitch. So this is going to be the feet. Then just chain 1 and cut your yarn. Now pull through and pull the end to tighten up the chain 1. Now I'm going to let it be like this, and I'm just going to sew the other feet here first. You are going to skip 3 stitches at the center part here. So 1, 2, and 3. Insert your hook under this stitch like this. Then just repeat the same step. So chain 1 and make 1 single crochet into the same stitch. Then insert your hook under the next stitch like this and make 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch, make another 1 single crochet. Then chain 1 and cut your yarn. Then pull through and pull the end to tighten up the chain 1. So to weave it in, you're going to take your darning needle and thread in your yarn. Then you're going to bring this yarn through the back of the stitch like this and pull. Then just insert it through the duck like this. And I'm just going to do this for a few times and then pull. And I'm going to do the same thing for this other end. I'm just going to insert it through my darning needle and then just pull through. And I'm just going to poke the end like this to hide the yarn. And I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Now just continue the same step for the other feet here. Now this is how the feet is going to look like. Now we're going to do the same method for the beak. I have marked where I want the beak to be. So from the top right here, you're going to count 6 rows. So 1, as you can see the circle here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Make sure that it's the front of the and pull through and tighten up the chain. Beak. As you can see, it is at the center part in between of the 2 feet. So we have 1 stitch, 2, and 3 stitches right here. Now I'm going to take my crochet hook and insert it under the stitch and chain 1. Now I'm going to make 1 single crochet into the stitch. So 1. You're going to ignore this end because we're going to weave it in just like before. Now go under the next stitch, under like this, and make 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch here, make 1 more single crochet. Now I'm just going to pull this piece of yarn that I used to mark where I want the beak to be. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn your work like this. Now in the first stitch, we're going to make a slip stitch. So insert your hook into the first stitch and make a slip stitch. Then make 1 single crochet into the next stitch. And a slip stitch into your last stitch. Now just chain 1 and cut your yarn. Then pull through and pull the end to tighten up this chain 1. Now we're going to weave it in just like before. So I'm going to insert my needle through here and bring the yarn at the bottom of the beak like this to hide it. Then insert it like this and go through anywhere you like and pull through. I'm just going to do it one more time. Then I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Now just poke the yarn like this and hide it into the duck like this. Now I'm going to be using 0.5 mm ice and I'm going to glue it at the side of the beak here. So I'm just going to apply some glue. You can just use any type of glue. I usually use my hot glue gun, but I'm just too lazy to pull out my hot glue gun today, and this is strong too. Then I'm going to stick it here at the side of the beak. And I'm going to stick it right here. And now you are done with the duck. So now moving on to the cap or the hat for the duck, which you can use in 3 different styles. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to use a different hook size, which is 3.0 mm, and also this small yarn. So first we are going to make a slip knot. So to make a slip knot, you're just going to make a loop like this. Then you're going to twist your yarn. So twist it, and you have this X shape in the middle. Then take your working yarn and put it on top. Then from the back, just pull the working yarn. Then insert it into your crochet hook and pull through. Now we are going to chain 6. So yarn over and pull through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So skip the first chain, which is your turning chain. Then insert your hook into the second stitch and make 1 single crochet. And into the next stitch, 1 single crochet. So just do this until you have a total of 5 single crochet. 3, 4, and 5. Now you are going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now you're going to insert 1 single crochet into each stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch and make 1 single crochet. So make a total of 5 single crochets. So 2, 3, 4, and this is your last stitch right here. So I usually just use my nail because it's a little hard to get into. And 5. So this is going to be the step that you're going to repeat until round 36, which is chain 1 and make 5 single crochet. Now moving on to round 27. First chain 1 and we're going to insert 1 single crochet in each row. So insert your hook and make 1 single crochet. I will recommend that you mark the first stitch just so that you know where the first stitch is. You can just follow this yarn where it's kind of wrapped around. This is where you're going to insert the 1 single crochet. Then the side where we have this straight edge, you're going to insert 1 single crochet right here. Now once you reach the end right here, you're going to make 5 single crochets into the chain that we did before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we are going to skip the next stitch, which is right here, and then insert your hook into the next, and we're going to do 5 double crochet. So yarn over and skip the next stitch, and insert your hook into the next stitch and make 5 half double crochet. So 1, you're going to do the 5 double crochets into the same stitch, 3, 4, and 5. Then skip the next stitch right here and insert your hook into the next and make a slip stitch. So this is the pattern that you're going to repeat for 6 times. So skip the next stitch right here and insert your hook into the next and make 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now skip the next stitch and insert your hook into the next and make a slip stitch. Now all you need to do is just make a slip stitch into the side right here and make 5 single crochet at the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So remove your stitch marker, and in the first stitch you're going to make a slip stitch. Now we're going to chain how long you want this side to be right here, and we are going to use this to tie it onto the duck later on. I'm just going to follow this chain that I made. So it is about, let me just, 8 centimeters. So I'm going to do this until I have reached 8 centimeters. And then cut your yarn and pull. And then pull the end to tighten up the chain. Now I'm going to insert my hook into the side right here. And I'm going to make a loop like this. And put it on top of my crochet hook. Then just pull through. Then I am going to chain until I have reached 8 centimeters again. And the trick for this is you have to hold the end right here while you do the chain, or else it's going to fall apart. And then cut your yarn and pull through and tighten up the chain. Now for this end right here, you have to weave it in, or else this chain is going to fall apart. So my yarn is a little too short, so I'm just going to insert my needle first and then insert my yarn into my darning needle. So go ahead and weave it in through the back stitch, and make sure that the needle is not showing at the front in case you want to hide this end at the back. I'm going to pull through and I'm going to weave it once again just to really secure it up. Now cut your yarn. Now for these two ends right here, you can cut it as close as possible. However, it is going to unravel later if you leave it like that. So if you want to cut it as close as possible to the chain, you have to glue the end right here just to make sure that it won't unravel. But for this, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut a little, and I don't cut as close as the chain just to make sure that it's not going to unravel. And you are done with this one. Now just take your duck. You can use it on top of its head, or you can use it as a cap like this and just tie it up. And this is how it looks. Or you can also use this thing as a cap like this. I don't know what you call this, but I guess it's a scarf. I think so. And it's going to look like this. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye!